Hello, everybody. I'll give you all a sec to connect to your audio and then we can get started. Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Chelsea McGill. I'm a Thermomix consultant and team leader. I live in Bunyip, and tonight I am very happy to have Anna and Em with me here to present to you all our Easter cooking class. My husband just said, "Are you pre-recording this for later?" And I was like, "Easter's only 3 weeks away," and he couldn't believe that Easter was so close. So we thought we'd get in a little bit early before the school holidays start to show you some of our favorite Easter dishes that you can be making in your Thermomix this festive. Do we call Easter a festive season? Is that a thing, this festive season, or is it just Christmas? Um, but we've got a couple of great dishes for you tonight. We're going to use the cutter with the spiralizer attachment. We're going to do a fish and chips, a salad. We've got a really nice like Easter cupcake activity that you can do with your family. I'm just going to go through and work out. We've got someone not on mute and it's just causing a bit of background noise. Can you guys work out who that might be for me, please? Thank you. So we do ask that you stay on mute for us tonight. We absolutely love interacting with you all. We love when you ask us questions, but we do appreciate if you could pop them in the comment section below for us in the chat box. Anna or Em, could you just pop a little hello into the chat box so everybody knows where to find it? And while you're all there, I would love if you could pop in the chat and let us know where are you watching from tonight? And if you currently have a Thermomix, what model do you have? Thank you, ladies. So again, I am team leader of the Theminators. We are a team based, well, I'm in Bunyip. A couple of the girls are in similar areas to me, but we do have consultants from all around Victoria, which is really fun. I've been with Thermomix for 6 years now. It's actually my 6-year anniversary this week, which is really fun and crazy. I joined 6 years ago when they announced the TM6 was coming out. I keep saying six a lot. When the TM6 was coming out. I'd had a TM31 and a TM5, and I really couldn't justify buying another Thermomix. I thought my husband might kill me. So my consultant convinced me to join the team, earn a TM6, and I was like, I am leaving 60 days. I'm out of here with my free Thermomix. And obviously that did not happen. So I'm very happy to still be here and super excited about the launch of our new TM7, which pre-sales officially start next Thursday. So if you would like any more information about that, please let us know. We do also have our run-out deal on the TM6 while stocks last, with over $1,000 worth of freebies, which we can chat about later. But if you do have any questions, pop them in the chat. Shoot us a message later. We would love to chat to you. So anything you need, put it in the chat tonight. We will answer it for you. We're going to get cracking with some of our dishes. And I'm going to head over to Em, who's going to introduce herself and take you through our first dish.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily. So you might have seen me on socials under Mix It with Mrs Ruttsy, based in Traralgon. And I've been with Thermomix now, I think they're close to, I'm going to say nearly 3 or 4 years. I've got the worst memory. But tonight I am joining the girls and I'm making hot cross buns. I'm the biggest fan of hot cross buns. I love them. I love them dearly. I love the fruit ones, the plain ones, the chocolate ones, the loaded ones, you name it. Give me a hot cross bun. You will find on Cookie Doo, there is a few different hot cross buns on there. There's a brioche hot cross bun. You've got your chocolate ones and also just your plain fruit ones. Tonight, I've decided to mix it up a bit. So what we'll be doing is the hot cross buns. So that's all you need on Cookie Doo. I'll be eliminating the fruit in there and I'll be loading some with some jam as well. So bit of a mix up, but let's do it. Pop in the comments in the chat box. Have you made hot cross buns before? Is this something that you usually do each Easter time, or is it something that you wanted to do but maybe you're just not confident enough to do it? I would love to know. Pop it in the chat box for me. So I've got the TM6 black version here now. Now this is a limited edition one. We do know that the TM7 is coming out in black, and I'm super excited for that. As you can tell, I do love the black appliances. So step one is half a lemon zest or lime zest. Now, this is an optional step. You don't need to do it. I don't do it in mine, so I'm going to skip ahead. So just remember, it is guided cooking. It's not set in stone. So basically, if you're ingredient in and you don't have it or you want to change it up a bit, it's okay to do so. So skipping these first 3 steps, I should say. So we're going to skip the 100 grams of baker's flour as well, and you're going to find out why in just a moment. Jumping all the way over now to step 7, and it's going to ask for 250 grams of milk. So you can use fresh cream or cream milk, I should say, or you could use almond milk, light milk, whatever milk you like. Seems to work fine. I've got about 258. I'm happy with that. And now a tablespoon of yeast. So you can buy this yeast just from the supermarket. This is the one I tend to go for. And I just leave this one just in the fridge, and it just stays like that. It will stay fresh for you if it is in the fridge. So when you're doing yeast into your bowl, what I like to say to my customers is make sure you're not pouring this straight on top of the blades. You're wanting to do it around the blades. Reason being is you really want the yeast in the liquid in there to activate. So if it's sitting on top of your blades, it's just not going to go into the liquid if you've got water in there or your milk, and it just won't activate. I mean, if you don't have activated, then your dough is not going to be as nice as you'd like it to be. Can we go next now? For 3 minutes, it will heat up to 37 degrees on speed 1. I'm just going to turn that down, stay heating on there. I will read what is in that box. Keen to try make it, but would love to. I really hope after this, Danielle, that you are confident enough to make hot cross buns. Keen to try. We'll be making them after watching this then. That's so good to know. They are easy. They actually are easy, and they are quite quick. So it isn't a very time-consuming recipe. I mean, I love doing different doughs, so for me, it's something I really enjoy. But anything with dough, proving in that, I find you have that time in between. You know why it proves you can get along with your day or whatever you're doing, make your dough prior. A good way to do it is the day before. So if you know you've got some free time tomorrow, whip some dough up, pop it in the fridge, let it prove overnight, but make sure that you're getting out to room temp before you are baking with it. I know I just seen Anna popped up that she did bake biscuit flavoured, I think, hot cross buns the other day, which I did see, and that's what I was going to share with you tonight as well. By watching Anna's So Pepper's Kitchen, she froze. So she would, spoonful Nutella or biscuit. I might actually get you to explain this, Anna, because I haven't tried it yet, but I thought it was a very cool way, placing them into your dough before you're baking it. So that's one way of doing it. Tonight I'll just be loading mine with jam after it is cooked. So pop in the chat, actually, what are your favourite flavoured hot cross buns? Do we like the classic, fruit ones or fruitless, or should we go chocolate or choc chip? Well, then you've got all these fancy new flavours that are coming out loaded. Apple cinnamon, they are to die for as well. Not about the fancy ones. There we go. Classic fruit for me. Choc chip is good. Apple and cinnamon hot cross bun. Yes, yes, yes. See them nowadays getting a bit fancy. People fill them with their custard and, jam, or they load them on top and decorate them. I think anything someone gets an option to do it, they generally will. Custard would be delicious as well. I did make custard ones last year, and I really love those ones as well. Classic fruit, Vicky says. Alice says traditional or Cadbury caramel. Wow, that is a good one as well. Didn't think of that. I think the benefits of having a Thermomix and making this stuff from scratch is that you can make any flavour you like. Probably quite dangerous for us all, but it is Easter time and we can indulge. And I always love to bring something homemade when I catch up with my family. So generally it is this time of year is a lot of hot cross buns. So that's now heated up. And it's going to say add that reserved mixture from step 1 and step 2. We didn't do that, so again, skipping that step. You will notice on now step 12, it will say to you add 400 grams of baker's flour. If you've done the previous steps of the lemon zest and the flour, we haven't, so it says or your total 500 grams if skipped step 1. So it is giving you those 2 options on there. So I will go in straight with 500 grams of baker's flour. If you've got a Thermomix, I'm tipping you've got baker's flour in your pantry. So we use our baker's flour for all of our dough. So if we're doing bread or scrolls, donuts, hot cross buns, generally we use our baker's flour. It has, it's like a strong white flour, so it's got more protein in there and you will get a better result out of it. This big tub is from Kmart, of course. And the baker's flour I get is just from Coles. So it's that brand Wallabies, Woolies as well, sell it. And generally I just get it when it's on special. So 500 grams of that is going in. 510, it's over. That is okay. Made a mess as usual. A good pinch of salt. My mix shot goodie, you would have seen me use this quite some time. Salt and pepper in there, comes in a little spoon. Popping that straight in, and a little spoon just sits in. I love this. Love, love, love. Going next now, grams of butter. I get my big blocks of butter. I'm trying to think of that place in Traralgon that I go that has all of your wholesale foods. Brent Corp, there we go. If you're local to Traralgon, they have the big butters there, and it's so much more cost effective. I just chop it up. Generally, if I'm making a lot from scratch, you will use a fair bit of butter. So that's what I do. That's why I've got this container in my fridge. So I've got 70 grams of butter in there. Fifty grams of caster sugar. Now, if you are a Thermomix owner, you will know that you make your own caster sugar. So it is sugar milled down. Generally, depending on your about speed 6, and that will give you your caster sugar. Anything higher, you'll go into your ice at a higher speed. But yeah, another great way to save money is just buying that normal white sugar and milling it down. This is M salt and pepper box. So, and just milling it down to the sugar that you need. So I'm going to go in now with 1 egg. Been a sucker. I've been going to the egg farm in Morwell and getting my eggs from there. And they have been humongous lately. A lot of them double yolkers. See how messy I am, guys? Put it in the chat box, please. Are you as messy as me when you cook? I would love to know. Is it only me?
So Em, my biggest fear is moving to a TM7, which I'm obviously so excited about, but I'm like, it only comes in black. And I'm like, and we all know I am the messiest cook in the world. And I'm like, no one should give me a black Thermomix.
Oh, it's so bad, isn't it?
Like, I'm going to have to learn to be less messy.
Yeah, okay, so I'm clearly not the only one. But I have heard with the TM7, the screen is going to be more touchable. So sometimes if you get a bit of water on here, it's hard to touch a TM6. You've got to dry it off. Apparently for the TM7, you can actually, you're not going to be drying off as often. If you are a messy cook, you'll understand. If you're not a messy cook, you're probably thinking you're a bit of a weirdo, Em.
Hold on 1 second. Anna's just said, I'm shook how you cracked your egg. I wasn't watching, so I need to know, what did you do to this egg?
What do you mean? I've just cracked it on my bowl. And that's probably why half of it went down there. Well, Anna's going to give us a egg cracking lesson when she's on. Put her on spotlight.
Can't wait.
The nutmeg now. How would you want me to crack it? In a bowl, then put it in? Brooke loves her black thermo. All right, so I've got cinnamon in there and nutmeg. It's going to ask me for some ground cloves. I don't have that, so again, I am skipping that. And popping my lid on now. It's going to give it a very good mix before it goes into our dough mode. So 6 seconds, speed 7. All right. Pushing it down with our trusty spatula that we all love. So, how good's that? Going next, 100 grams of sultanas, skipping, 70 grams of currants, skipping. Like I said, we are not doing that in this. I'm going to load it with jam and I'm going to do some plain ones. So lid back on now, more white powder on my Thermomix, flour. I'm going to go next now, and it's going to go into our dough mode for 2 minutes. So let me do that one for you. I think it's still hear me over the Thermomix, but we do have our trusty Thermomix bread mats. These, my favourite. So it is so silicone on the outside and fiberglass in the middle. I love this thing. It's just the best. You use it for proofing all your dough. You wrap your dough in there, your pastry when it's in the fridge, and you do all your dough work on there. So basically, it will stop you from using an X amount of flour, I guess, on there, because your dough won't stick to this. So this is what I'm using today. Has your measurements on there. The best thing about this is a host reward as well. So if you haven't got your hands on one yet and you do, let us know, because we can make that happen for you via a host reward. Chat box. Yeah, cool. All righty. Yeah, Chelsea just said her most used accessory. So same here. I make a lot of doughs and a lot of pastries. So yeah, I do love this one a lot. Don't use a knife on there. Just use your spatula or your bowl scraper. I find works really well. About 20 seconds left, guys, on this dough.
Something that is really exciting about the TM7 is that it is much quieter. So it does have a double insulated bowl and a more silent motor, which means even in something like the dough mode, you actually virtually cannot hear it, which is really interesting. I make a lot of dough, as Em does, and sometimes I do get a little bit sick of the sound of the dough maker, of the kneading, I think, because it's just that like start stop. I don't really notice my Thermomix when it's cooking, but it's that start stop that kind of you get a little bit over as a mum of young children who make a lot of sound all day long. So that is very exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited for that part as well. And I have heard that it's on lower speed as well, so it can be quite silent up to speed too. But I just can't wait to get my hands on it to have a play. But basically, this is my dough. 2 minutes is equivalent. It is equivalent. Oh my gosh, to 20 minutes of hand kneading. And yeah, that's why we love our Thermomix. So not going to push this one out because I've got one out there, but as you can see, it is quiet because we've got that milky consistency in there. It is like sticky to the bowl, but it comes out fairly easily. I flick it over on turbo just to get the rest of the dough out from the bottom of the blades. You'll let that prove roughly for, gosh, I've let this one prove now for about an hour. Here's one I prepared earlier. But you'll see once it's doubled in size that it's good to go. So one that I prepared earlier, like I said, my trusty bowl scraper is going to work. But you just want to roll this out onto your mat, get your bowl scraper and just really clean that up. So I don't know about you, but you know when you wash dough, it gets stuck in your sink everywhere and it's just all in your sink scrubber and your cloth. So basically I get off as much as I can. And anytime I'm doing dough in my Thermomix bowl, I will always, without a doubt, do the pre-clean, the function on the TM6, your pre-clean on the dough mode, because it will just lift any of that sticky residue out from the dough, washes off so much easier. So here is the dough that I made earlier. We are going to make this into hot cross buns. So again, not using anything sharp on this one, so I'm just going to go with my bowl scraper. It's up to you how many you like. I think the recipe might state 12 or 16, something like that. I generally just make 8. 8 to 10, depending. I like the hot cross buns big. So just going to knock this down. I got my beautiful rose gold tray from the mix shop, and also with our baking liners on there as well. So this will save me from using my baking paper. Again, just saving money by buying these. Alrighty, so your hot cross buns, I tend to roll mine around. And if it's not like a perfect one, what I'm doing is just kind of rolling it around and pitching it all in by the bottom, because you want your front bit, your top of it, I should say, looking kind of neat. So the tighter that you're pulling it underneath, you're going to get that nice look on top, okay? When it's all pinched down at the bottom, generally I'll just roll it through my hands and sit that straight down on my tray. Yeah, so it's saying just to wrap it in your silicone bread mat for 30 minutes. Like I said, if it's out longer, it doesn't really matter. If you want to make the dough prior, so the night before, pop it in the fridge, let it do its proofing in the fridge overnight, and then just get it out to room temp prior to making your hot cross buns or any of your doughs. Okay. You want to sit them fairly close together. They still will rise out a bit, I should say. But again, rolling it into your circle. Then I like just to pull all that dough down so it's nice and tight on the top, just so it's just a nicer look. Okay, when it's all pinched in at the bottom there, just rolling it in your arms and your hands and down. So again, going to be in a fair triangle shape. You want to just roll it into a ball and just pinch all of it down just till it's tight on top, and then roll it. So again, around, stretching the dough down and under, pulling it nice and tight. You might even have a little, no, it doesn't. I thought this recipe might have a little instructional video, but it doesn't look like it.
It's a great tip pulling the dough down, because you're creating that little bit of an air pocket as well, which is going to help them to rise, be fluffier and lighter, which is what we want.
Yeah, it's just when you get your dough like that as well, I just find if you're just going to roll it, so if I was just to roll it like that and stick it down, like you've got all these creases in there, as you can see, and they just don't rise and look as nice. So, yeah, I always, with my dough, I just like to pull it, like Charles said, you want to pull it tight to have that little air pocket in there, and it just bakes that bit better. Rolling it and just rolling it on your hand, okay? Down. A bit more to go.
Has anybody started making hot cross buns this Easter yet, or is it still on your to-try list? I haven't made any yet this year, but I really need to start doing that over the weekend, I think. It's nothing better.
I think after tonight's class, you will all feel inspired to go and make some hot cross buns. I think without a Thermomix, I never even thought about making them. Something I just would never cross my mind to do. But yeah, the opportunities are endless with the Thermomix. I just find I am making things that I probably never would have. And one being hot cross buns. All right, so that's them. Got 8 of them there, looking fairly nice. I will let these sit for a bit. I can do the crosses now, Charles, so you can swap back to me soon, and I can. Actually, I'm probably best to do it now, you reckon?
Yeah, just work it on now if you want to. Then we
Sure.
can keep going. Perfect.
No, I won't work it on now because
She's run away.
Yeah, I'm like, where's my all my bowls are in the dishwasher. Change over.
Okay,
Let me wash my bowl out with the dough in there, and I'll get back to it. It'll take me 2 seconds.
perfect. No worries. We'll see you soon, Em. Thank you. All right. Oh, that's my wrong camera. Sorry. I need to turn that one off, so I stop seeing that. There we go. All right. So, hello again. Back over to me. Thank you, Em. Great demonstration on our hot cross buns, and we'll see you soon to finish that off. Today, I'm going to be taking you through one of our favorite Good Friday dishes, which is homemade fish and chips. Fish and chips are delicious. Obviously, everyone loves fish and chips, but they are so expensive. Does anyone remember when fish and chips used to be like the cheap takeaway? Now I find for our family, it's honestly almost cheaper to go out for dinner. So in our house on Good Friday, we do try to avoid red meats. We always try to eat some fish. So we thought we'd show you how to make your own delicious fish and chips in your Thermomix. Melanie's just said no, takeaway is cheap now, which is absolutely true. And something that I absolutely love about a Thermomix is being able to do all those great fake away dishes. Especially where I live, we have really poor takeaway choices. On the off chance we do get takeaway, it's always rubbish, costs a fortune, and I always regret it. So I love being able to do stuff like this. So we're going to head on into our weekly planner. You will notice all our different dishes for the class today. Has anybody noticed the changes on cookie dough? Have you seen the new updated cookie dough and the bits and pieces on here? So we're going to make a couple of different things. I'm going to do a fresh tartare sauce, some curly fries using our spiralizer, and some beer batter. So what I'm going to do is there is a curly fry recipe that you can use. So has anybody got the cutter attachment or the spiralizer? Pop in the chat and let us know. So this recipe here is curly fries with garlic sauce, the Thermomix spiralizer TM6. So what we're going to do is we can start cooking, or you can just wing this and use your spiralizer attachment in spiralizing mode to do the same thing. That is up to you what you would like to do. This one does have a garlic sauce with them, but we're going to make a tartare to go with our fish and chips, so we're not going to do that. So the recipe just walks you through: place a bowl on the mixing bowl lid and weigh in 800 grams of red potatoes, 4 to 5 centimeters diameter to fit through your feeder tube. So you want to make sure when you're using your cutter attachment, so this here is our cutter, you want to make sure that your veggies or whatever it is that you're popping through the feed is going to fit. We want to make sure that they're not going to get stuck. So sometimes you might need to halve. These are really wide potatoes, so I did halve them, and then I've just taken like a little slither off there so they can fit through the tube. So when we're using our cutter attachment, we've got our two sides. We've got our slicing and our grating, which is our standard cutter blade. Then we also have our new spiralizer, which is this one here. So our spiralizer is another blade that we can get. There are actually two. We have like zoodles and we have ribbons. So are our two different options. This one here, as I mentioned before, our TM6 does give us videos. So insert Thermomix cutter shaft and basket, and it does give you a bit of a video to how to do that if you're not sure, which is handy. So you can watch that one. And then place cutter into lid and secure potato to spiralizer pusher. Insert spiralizer. And then a bit of info, make sure you don't overfill the bowl. We've got our spiralizer here. So if you are doing this in manual mode, you will find your spiralizer attachment mode on the home screen. Swipe across to your mode screen and it will be down the bottom. So in our bowl, you want to make sure you've got your shaft here, and this one just goes in and down onto the blades like so. You just want to make sure it's in there, give it a little twist, make sure it's on. So that's what's going to make our spiralizer spin. Next goes our basket. What I love about the basket is that the bowl is clean, so you move on to your next recipe in no time at all, which is brilliant. Now I've taken my slicer and grater blade out, and I've got my spiralizer blade on. So line your spiralizer blade up with your blade at the front of the bowl, and then you want to line so your chute is in line with the spiralizer blade. Have a look down and make sure that you can see it, and if you can, then you are good to go. Your spiralizer has its own pusher attachment. So this is the cutter, this is the spiralizer, because it has a piece that you can stick your vegetables to. So give it a little push in, and that will kind of hold that there for you. Now, I always find with the spiralizer and the cutter that you get a better finish if you start the blade first. So turn your dial, your mode will start. And just gently pushing it down. You don't want to put too much pressure. You do want to give it a bit of assistance. And then again, repeating the process. Now, this recipe did ask for 800 grams of potato. I think I'm done, but I wasn't that quick because I was talking. It does want about 800 grams of potatoes. I'm not doing that many because, oh, I put it in the wrong way, I think. One sec. Because cold chips aren't my favorite thing in the world. And if I cook 800 grams tonight, I will eat them while they're hot. So I'm just going to do a couple. Down. Eating it through. Now you do end up with a little bit that looks a little bit like this when you're using your spiralizer, which does make me laugh. It doesn't matter what veggie it is, which obviously you could use later if you wanted to, or I'd just feed them to my chickens. My chickens will be stoked about that. So here we have our curly fries. Look at that. So is anybody eating like new zucchini noodles at the moment? Is that something that you are cooking in your household or eating or buying? Put in the comments and let us know. How cool is that? Now, obviously with chips, I might not want them quite that long. So I could just go through and break them up a little bit, snip them with scissors if you need to, whatever you're going to do. Or if you want to have a super fun time with some really long curly fries, you can absolutely go for that too. But how amazing is that? Just a couple of seconds and we've got perfect spiralized chips. So we're going to have some curly fries. So I'm going to cook these in the air fryer. So this recipe does want you to deep fry them. I'm not a fan of deep frying. I just don't like the smell in my house. So I'm going to put them in the air fryer. I find they end up really great that way anyway. Always remember to take your shaft out after you've finished with your cutter because you don't want to forget and pop it up. So I'm going to grab my kitchen scissors and I'm just going to kind of break up my curly fries so they're not crazy long. Go. And then I'm going to throw them into my air fryer. Are we using an air fryer at home? I always say to people, it's such a good partner to a Thermomix, your air fryer. Don't want to turn on the oven, use your air fryer, stuff like this. We make lots of like Parmas, Kievs, things like that in our air fryer. So we've got our curly fries, now light oiling, whatever you're comfortable with. Shake around. If you do want to deep fry these or shallow fry these, that is absolutely fine. That is your preference. This is just something that I prefer. Bit of salt, another shake, and then into the air fryer. Make sure they're spread around. And I'm going to put them on 200 degrees for 15 minutes. And I might check them at about 10, see how we're looking. And that is our spiralizer with our curly fries. If you don't have a spiralizer, you can get one as a host reward, or you can purchase one off the mix shop. Also, when you join our team, you will get a cutter and a spiralizer. But if you don't have one, that's fine. Just slice your potatoes into chips, throw them in the air fryer, in the pan, however you want to do them. Rhiannon said, my kids would be so excited to have curly fries. I think mine are going to be very happy with that as well. So you can follow through the recipe, and that is going to take you through making the sauce and how to deep fry them. But as I said, we're not going to be doing that today. No garlic sauce needed for us because we're going to make the tartare. So our next one is our, what have I done? Beer battered fish, which I just added to my shopping list and I didn't mean that.
Do you want me to jump over to me, Charles?
Yeah, are you ready, Em?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll come back to Em for a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Sorry, guys. Thank you. Bowl's clean, dough mode, and then rinsed out. So we're good to go. So the white crosses on your hot cross buns, that's what we're doing now. Very super simple. So 80 grams of plain flour going in. Going next now, a good pinch of salt. A tablespoon of olive oil. Hundred grams of water. And then popping our lid on now. If we just give it a good mix. 30 seconds speed at 4. Here we go. So these are the disposable piping bags from the mix shop. You can use one of these, or you could use just a clip lock bag, whatever you have. If you've got an extra big piping bag, use that. But I'm just going to pop that over a glass. We'll pour this in. And we'll draw our little crosses on our hot cross buns. So they're rising up nicely now. I've got the oven on 220 degrees. You do want it really, really hot when you're doing your hot cross buns. So up to 220. There we go. So I'll just straight it out.
You wanted to, you could add some cocoa into that mix and make chocolate crosses for your hot cross buns if you were doing choc chips instead of fruit. It's always a great option, or if you just want to spice it up.
That's so good thinking. Yeah, just to do something different on the cross. So just take my camera down for you all. Okay. Got my bag ready to go. I'm just going to snip off this end bit here. Filling the top there. Why do things disappear when you just had them out? All right. Okay. So we all know I'm not the most creative, but so all you do, you just run it along. And then it's a bit runny, this mixture, but that's okay. So cool, so fun. Yeah, there we go. How does that look already?
Amazing. They're looking great, Em. I can't wait to see you fill them with jam. I think that's such an awesome way to do it. So we will come back to you shortly to see them finished up.
Yeah, so good. Thanks, guys.
See you soon. All right, so we're going to come back and start making that pea batter. So this one does make quite a lot, and tonight I don't need that much. So when you scroll down your screen and you see your serving size, a lot of your recipes are pre-scaled, and you can hit that button to reduce or increase the number that you're making. Not every recipe is pre-scaled, so you can also do it in the Cookie Do app on your phone if you can't do it on the screen in your Thermomix. I didn't do it before, so we're just going to keep moving, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count half in my head. Mine is out half. So let's hope my math is quick tonight. Place a large food bag in a mixing bowl, and we're going to weigh into bag 400 grams of plain flour. I'm not going to use a bag. I'm just going to use my bowl. So we're going to go with 400 grams of, I'm going to go with 200 grams of plain flour, which is our half. A few grams over, but that is fine. Then it does want you to place your bag in the freezer for 15 minutes, which 15 minutes later, great, away we go. And it wants you to heat some oil in a deep saucepan or a deep fryer. So again, I did just say that I'm not super keen on deep frying. So I'm just going to do just a little bit of oil in my pan and do like a really shallow fry, which we'll do shortly. So we're then going to pop our butterfly whisk in. You're putting your butterfly whisk in just down on the blades the same way the shaft was sitting before. Give it a twist and make sure it's not going to slide on out like that. If it does, twist it again until it's a little bit more secure. Then we're going to put our cold flour back in. That was fast, wasn't it, guys? And then we're going to go 3 teaspoons of baking powder, which I'm going to do about 1.5. Our lid on, we're going to whiz that around. So we've got 10 seconds on speed 2. Has anybody made pea batter before? Is anyone doing anything like this at home? And then 550 grams of ale. So this is an English recipe. They do say in English the Poms make the best fish and chips. So ale, or sparkling or lager ice cold. So just using what we had, which is a cut and dry. Any beer is going to work. And half of 550 is 275. I think if my maths is good. If it's wrong, pop in the comments and let me know. That's right. And then lid on. Making your own batter is very easy. And if you did want to get extra fancy, you could batter your chips as well. So you could batter your curly fries or your chips that you've cut out before putting them in the air fryer if you're going to deep fry them. I feel like that's not super necessary, but that is up to you if you would like that extra bit of crunch. So we're going around for 2 minutes there on speed 3 and we're whisking that. Now remember, you can hit your preview button in the top corner to see what your next steps are. So next steps are remove our butterfly whisk. Beer batter should be used immediately. Dip 800 grams of cod or haddock fillets. You can use whatever fish you want. I've got some flake that my husband caught recently, which is beautiful. But any kind of white fish is going to work for you. Whiting, flake, anything at all. Melanie said, never thought to make my own. Might be the only way I can get my husband to eat fish. It does taste a lot better, especially if you can get a nice fresh fish. If you can't, something from the supermarket will be okay. But yeah, you can get a fresh fish. I'm not saying you have to go fishing. But if you go to a market or somewhere where you can get a really nice fresh fish, your butcher might have some fresh fish. There is a fish van near my house that does sell nice fresh fish. So something like that is a good way to do it. And then we're going to pop it into our oil and cook it out. Feel free to use sunflower oil. You can use vegetable is a good option. Or I have vegetable. I'm just slightly covering that. Just a light
Like you're waffling over there. We can't hear you, but
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry, I didn't go very far. I've just done a light covering of oil in my pan. I did say vegetable oil. This recipe does ask for sunflower, vegetables fine, or just any oil that you like to use. You can use one of the healthier oils if you want as well. And there we have made our beer batter. Nice, quick and simple. Remove your butterfly whisk. You can really smell the beer in it, and those bubbles make it really nice and fluffy as well. So going to pop my batter back into my bowl. As I said, this is a half batch and it has made quite a lot. Then we're going to go in with our fish. If you wanted to, you could flour your fish first and then go in with your batter. Give it a really nice coating. You want it thick-ish. Wash my hands, grab some tongs. And oil should be warm enough. And then into the oil. If you are doing just a small amount of oil like me, you might need to add a little bit more before you flip it. See how you go. Now you do want to drizzle a little bit of that off before you pop it in the oil. So just hold it up with your tongs and let a little bit of that batter fall off the fish so there's not too much on there. And then into your nice hot oil and let that cook for a couple of minutes each side, depending on the size of your fish. The thicker your fillets, the longer it's going to take. The recipe does say 8 to 10 minutes or until golden and cooked through. So 4 to 5 minutes on each side if you're doing it in a shallow pan like I am. And then remove with a slotted spoon, place on some paper towels to drain, and then serve hot, delicious with mushy peas, chips, and lashings of vinegar. That is very English. Does anybody eat mushy peas? I'm not sure that's something. I don't really like peas when they're not mushy. I can't really imagine mushy peas, but if you're a mushy pea fan, let me know. I'm intrigued. I feel like maybe you need to be traditionally English. I'm trying to find a dry bowl. All my bowls are just a little bit wet inside. No peas for me, says M. I'm not a pea. I think peas are gross. I'm not about it. So then back on into our weekly planner, and we're going to whip up a bit of fresh tartare. It's nothing better than fresh mayonnaises, sauces, things like that, and you can make them with ease in your Thermomix. Is anybody making mayonnaise, aiolis, peri-peri? I've gone into the wrong recipe. Anything like that at the moment, or have you made tartare sauce before? Kath lived in England and loved canned mushy peas. There you go. I'm intrigued. So remember to scroll your finger down the screen, grab your ingredients, steps, tips, tricks, things like that. And we're going to start off with a tablespoon of fresh tarragon leaves only. I don't buy fresh tarragon. It's not something that I'm ever going to use again, so it feels a little bit wasteful. So I do just have some dried tarragon. So I'm just going to do like a decent sprinkle of that. Not a tablespoon. It is a tablespoon of fresh. So when we're using dried, we want to do much less than that. And 1 tablespoon of flat leaf parsley again. If you don't have a herb garden and you're buying a bunch of parsley and a bunch of tarragon to use a tablespoon, it does feel a little bit wasteful. So using dry is a great alternative. Lid on and chopping that up if you're using fresh. If not, we'll just skip past that. I'm going to go in with a shallot. So a shallot is like your little mini onion. They're sweeter and softer in flavour. I'm just going to check on my curly fries. Fries are looking amazing. Need to find my tongs. Where did I put them? In my bowl. I might get a fresh set.
You used them for your fish.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I would lose my head, wasn't attached to my body. All right, my curly fries look good. I'm going to leave them. Scrape down sides of mixing bowl. So in a couple of seconds, we've chopped up that shallot. Perfect. Plus those herbs. And then we're going to go with 15 grams of pickled capers, drained. So I've just got like a little jar of baby capers here. Capers is not something that I really cook with, but you do just find them in the pickled aisle at Coles, Woolies, the pickled fruit aisle. Capers, and then 20 grams of pickled gherkins cut into pieces, or 30 grams of cornichons cut into pieces. I just looked at that into the bowl, and the onion has got me. So I've just gone in with a little bit of pickled gherkin, so just some little pickles. Put our lid back on. Put your lid on, and we're going to go into our turbo mode. So your lid's going to lock automatically. And we've got 1 second. It says turn speed selector 1 time. So our turbo is our fast hard chopping. It goes from 0 to 10 in a matter of seconds. Actually still got quite a bit of oil in there, so I was able to just turn that fish without having to add any more. Scrape down inside the bowl with spatula. Okay, that's chopped up beautifully. I always think about the time we save as Thermomix owners, not having to chop things. Does anybody else have that thought when they're cooking with their Thermomix? I always think, God, how do people live without one and having to manually chop everything by hand? I'm like, not about it. 1 second on turbo again. And that is the base of our tartare sauce. So this is what kind of makes it different to mayonnaise. So it does say place a jug on mixing bowl lid and weigh into it 250 grams of sunflower oil. So I'm using grapeseed oil. This is my preferred oil when making mayonnaise and things like that. And I'll show you my tip. Instead of getting a jug and weighing it on, you can pour directly onto your lid. So set jug aside. We're going to go with 30 grams of lemon juice, and then we'll come back with our oil afterwards. $30 grams of lemon. What that would do me. One more. Not a very juicy lemon. My little Tupperware juicer there. You can use the bottled lemon. Fresh is always going to be a little bit nicer. 2 egg yolks that I prepared earlier, so Anna couldn't laugh at me for the way I cracked my egg on the side of my bowl. Some salt, half a teaspoon, which is about yay. And then a little bit of black pepper. It's also about yay. Lid on. And then we've got 1:30, and down here it says turn speed selected to speed 4. Meanwhile, follow the next step. So turn your dial to 4, and then the next step is pour your reserved oil onto the lid. So hit your 3 dots in the corner and open up your scales and start pouring in your oil. Now your measuring cup has, we need 250 grams. The measuring cup has some little bumps underneath it, which is allowing the oil to drain through. Not sure if you can see from that angle, but there's some bubbling happening here, which is that air escaping as our oil is drizzling in. And what we're doing here is we are emulsifying. So we're emulsifying the oil into our egg at the bottom, and this is how you make things like your mayonnaise, your aioli, your tartare, things like that. Did anybody say they've made mayonnaise before? Let me know if you have. Once you make the Thermomix mayo, it's really hard to go back to store-bought because it is just nowhere near as nice. Don't make mayonnaise or tartares or any of those with olive oil. The flavour is too strong in olive oil. Something like grapeseed, avocado oil, things like that are your best bet. If it's taking a little while to trickle down and your time's getting low, you can add a few more seconds if you need to. Or once you're getting towards the end, you can just kind of wiggle your measuring cup. And then taking it off to let that last. It's pulling a little bit faster. And using your spatula to just give it a little push down. I find it funny, sometimes in a minute and a half it happens easily, other times it takes a little bit longer. So let that drizzle down, transfer it into a bowl and serve. And we have just made fresh tartare sauce in just a couple of minutes. Look at that. How good does that look? So much better than store-bought. That'll be cheaper than store-bought and with no nasties and additives, and the flavour just cannot compare. So you can pop that one in a jar in the fridge, and that will keep for maybe up to 2 weeks, depending on your egg. And we're going to jump over to Anna. While Anna is cooking for you, I'm going to plate up my fish and chips, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Hey everyone, my name's Anna. I have been a consultant for 2 days. Yesterday was my first day. However, I used to be a consultant a few years ago during that COVID period and really enjoyed it. And now that the 7 has been announced, I took that as a sign that it was time to come back. So tonight I am going to be making mini egg cupcakes. So this is an Easter-based recipe because it's using carrots in there, and it's got some almonds, and on the icing it is a cream and a cream cheese-based one. So I'm going to get straight into the icing because I need to get that into the fridge. So I'm just going to go into my recipe, and I was playing with it before, so it's not at the very start. Let me just go back. All right, so I need to insert my butterfly lid. And as Charles was saying before, just making sure that it's locked in. And I need to put 150 grams of double cream. So get that in there. Perfect. And I'm going to be whipping this cream. So I have to be careful because if I whip it for too long, I'm going to end up with butter. So has anyone made butter yet? I know Em said that she buys a lot of her butter because she uses so much, and I'm the same. I've made it a few times myself, but I feel like with the amount that we use, because the amount of cooking we do, it gets used up pretty quickly. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this. It only goes for 45 seconds, and it's just telling us it's until a soft has a soft peak. So I'm going to bowl. Yeah, I really enjoyed making the butter. It was actually, the butter quality was really good as well. And I enjoyed the fact that I had the buttermilk afterwards that I just made pancakes with. and they were really, really nice and fluffy, those pancakes. So that's actually whipped it because I was talking, not paying attention. It's actually probably whipped it a little bit too much. But that's what we're going to use. So the recipe is asking us to take this out now. As you can see, it's if any longer, and I reckon it was going to start splitting, and we would have butter. So I'm just going to put that into the bowl. And we're going to set that one aside for now. All right, so I'm going to put 175 grams of cream cheese in here. Now, I have let this sit out for a little while. You don't want to put hard cream cheese into your Thermomix if you've got the blades in, but not the blades, the whisk in, but we've actually taken the whisk out. So it shouldn't be a problem. Sorry, my husband's sitting here eating all the Easter eggs that are meant to go on top of the cupcakes. Yeah, there's some of them, but they're not all of them. We're going to put 90 grams of icing sugar in this. So, I already made my icing sugar before. As Em was saying, you can use your raw sugar and then mill it until you get your fine icing sugar. And it's really hard to read up. So 2 lemons, finely grated zest only. So I've got my lemon zest here that I have grated. And then we need to put in 15 grams of lemon juice. So I'm just going to tear that because I actually did say it was 19 already. I like to turn my lemon upside down as well once I've done it one way, just to make sure you're getting all that juice out. There we go. And so it's actually half a teaspoon of vanilla sugar. I actually don't have that, so I'm going to put vanilla essence in there instead. And I'm just going to eye that because I like to eye those little amounts. I'm just going to pop the lid back on, and I'm just going to blend for 30 seconds and mix that all together. I'm just curious, have anyone actually made this recipe? So let us know in the chat. Until today, I hadn't made it, and I have got some ones I've made earlier. It's a really, I made some earlier today, and it was really, really easy. They're like a little bit extra than your normal cupcake. Really good one for Easter time. So that's done. All right, so we have to fold the whipped cream back in. So I'm going to do that. And then it wants us to set aside in the fridge. So I'm just going to mix that together. Smells really good. I should be surprised that it's a cream cheese frosting that's going with it when it is like a carrot cake type of recipe. So I'm just going to get all this out. So what I might do, because there's a fair bit of mixture stuck under the blades, I'm just going, so just to tell you before, that's what it looks like now. So there's a fair bit of icing mixture stuck under those blades. So I'll just give it a quick, just for that second. And then flicked it all to the side for me so I can actually get all of that delicious icing out. Put that into the fridge. All right. So telling me to clean my mixing bowl, but I'm just gonna get my freshie. So I'm going to preheat my oven, which I've already done, and then it's probably to line the muffin tray. So we have that here. Yep. So for the recipe, it's told me to use 100 grams of blanched almonds. I went and got them because they're in glass. I would not ever buy these. I'll just use the almonds I've got in the pantry. And I did for the ones I made earlier today, and I don't think it's made any difference. So if I was you, I would spend the extra money and get them. It's just the only difference I can see is like aesthetic. Like it's, you might have like a bit of brown flecks through the cupcakes, but that doesn't bother me. So we're now going to mill these almonds into almond meal. So I just need to wash my spatula. I had to throw my other one out the other day because it broke after many, many years of use. So now that is our almond meal. So we just need to put that into a bowl. Now, don't be too precious about getting everything out and making sure it's clean, because now we're going to put our carrots in. So I've just got these chopped up into that little pieces. That's just 100 grams. They're about 1.5 carrots for me. Oh, just got to put that in properly. One thing that's going to come with the 7. So that is one thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing in person. All right, so we're just going to put that with the almond now. So that's broken up those carrots really, really nicely. And as Charles was saying before, I actually can't imagine having to chop up and grate all the things. Like I made bolognese the other day, and like I didn't make the bolognese in the Thermomix because I slow cooked it all day on the Sunday. But I used the Thermomix to like chop up my onion, my carrots, what else is in there? Zucchini and capsicum, because and the celery, like I don't have time. I'm able to actually spend cutting all that up and grating it all. So now I just need to add an insert to my butterfly again. My other one in there. So now we're needing to put in 130 grams of butter, softened. So flick all of that in. So when you're pulling for chocolate butter, you don't ever want to melt your butter in the microwave first because it loses all the air in the butter and it won't whip as good. Remember learning that on I can't remember, it was like a cooking show when I was younger and it's just stuck. Now, so that's 130 grams of brown sugar. I never put the amount of sugar in that they asked for. I find the recipe is quite sweet. So I've just put in about 80, I tend to go about half. And they're saying a teaspoon of vanilla sugar. Once again, I'm just putting vanilla extract. They've said to put a pinch of fine sea salt in, but I did use salted butter as well. And now we need to put in more lemon zest. And our eggs. What are my eggs? Now's the time then. I don't crack one on the machine. I just crack it on the bench like a normal person and then chuck it over. I think that's wild that you cracked your eggs on the machine. That's great. All right, so now we're just going to combine all that.
The machine, Anna. I would literally add half the egg on the bench and all over the machine. So if I crack it on the machine, then it's only bound to get on the machine. But if I do it on the bench, it goes the bench, the floor, then the machine.
That's good. Chelsea, are you able to send through the recipe for this one? So it's called mini egg cupcakes.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're a bowl for you, Jess.
I'm laughing because I'm also a bowl cracker. I can't believe you. I feel like you're in the minority. So let's just do a little vote here. Do we crack eggs on the rim of your Thermomix bowl, or do you do them like Anna in the tidy, nice way of like separately on the bench or something like that? Put in the comments and let us know.
Oh, no. All right, no, that's good. All right, we're even now.
Oh, you've got Brooke in your corner. It's all right. And Alice.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're pretty split. Callie cracks them in the cup one by one.
Yeah, I ain't got time for a cup either. That's just extra dishes.
I do understand that. I think you're meant to, just in case one's off, but I'm like, I don't have time for that. Just crack it on the side, throw it in.
Yeah. Like even when I'm splitting an egg, like I'll crack it and then I just use like the eggshell to, like, I don't know, it's like how I learned how to do it in like home ec in high school, and that's just the way that it's done. Right. So that actually looks amazing. So that has whipped all of that butter together. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, so one of our daughters has like some gut issues. So for quite some time, she has not been able to have dairy. We've been told she can have dairy again, but now we are trialing a gluten-free diet for her. So if you're needing to like sub out butter, Nuttalex is a really good swap when it comes to baking. And with gluten-free, which is one thing that we've been trialing, I've actually found gluten-free flour now is really, really easy to bake with. It's actually the texture of things can be a bit different, but the things that I've had to be making have actually been, like, the outcome's been really good. So the ones that I've made a little bit earlier tonight are gluten-free. So hopefully we'll be able to see the difference. So I've just put in 150 grams of plain flour and I'm putting a teaspoon of baking powder. I was just making sure it hadn't told me to take the whisk out and I was just not paying attention. Now, the next step that I'm going to do, you don't have to do it this way. I'm just a bit pedantic when I'm taking things out of the bowl, when I'm doing cupcakes and stuff. I always end up putting it in another bowl. And I know that's like counterintuitive and kind of goes against what we say when doing Thermomix because you want to do less. But for me, I'm more comfortable making sure I get the right ratio. All right, so we're going to take this whisk out. I always love trying to get all the batter out the whisk. If there is an easier way to do this, please let me know because I certainly don't know. Like, how do you get all of that stuff out?
If you're a bit wild like I am, you just hold it in the bowl and flick, flick, flick against like the walls of the bowl. Yeah, just like nice and hard, down in there, flick it across, and that'll do. But if anyone has a proper way to do it, feel free to share that with us all. Thank you.
I feel like if I do that, I'm going to break it. And you can't, hopefully you can't see it, but there's actually flour everywhere. So,
oh, we can't see.
So now it's asked us to put the grated carrot and the almond meal in there. Let's get that in. I don't forget how actually hard it is to cook upside down at the back of the machine. Forgot how like awkward it is when you're like doing things and you're over the top. So it's just asked us to gently stir that mixture in and fold it. So while I do that, yeah, like I said, you can scoop out your mixture and put it in, but for whatever reason, I just really like to have a visual representation of how much I actually have left. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to these things, and I like them all to be the same height and the same size, which I know not everyone's probably like that. I doubt you. Chelsea, are you pedantic about the size of your cupcakes being the same?
Surely you know me well enough by now. And how many years have I known you for now?
I'm not insulted.
I'm not insulted. I am the biggest slapdash cook. I don't have time to be pedantic. I don't know how you have time to be pedantic. I'm just not a pedantic person. That's just not in me at all. But I love that you are.
It shouldn't be, because I definitely don't have the time to be. And I always make things so much harder for myself by putting that extra pressure on. Doesn't actually need to be there. Like nobody's judging me for them being the perfect size.
But that's okay. Whatever makes you happy, right?
So we've got all that mixture. I just did that blend again just to make sure I was getting all of that off. All right, so that's what our mixture is looking like. So it's actually, it smells really nice. So I'm just going to scoop the same amount to everyone. So when I'm making, like, I make so many muffins each week. With 4 kids, and you know, packing school lunches, you can imagine if I do 12 muffins, if we all have a muffin each, they're gone in 2 days. And if Robert likes the muffins, they're gone even quicker. So I actually need to make heaps of muffins. So this is actually a great way to, like I've got an ice cream scooper. For those who are pedantic like me, one of these things. I just got it from Yuma in Warragul. Great. Gives you the exact amount every time. And as I've been talking and distracted, I haven't got the exact amount. We're going to get this in. And so these take about 20 minutes in the oven. But that already. So as you can see, so the batter's quite thick. It's not like a very loose batter. So it is actually quite thick. So don't worry about the fact that they're all a bit bumpy because they will flatten out when they cook. So I'm going to pop them into the oven. And they're going to cook for 20 minutes. Now, as I said, I had done these ones earlier. So you can see that they've just cooked. These ones are gluten-free. So I'm interested to see how the other ones turn out, if they're any fluffier, because with gluten-free cooking, they can be a bit more dense. But that's like the cupcake. So I'm going to get the icing. I'm going to put it into a little piping bag, and then we're going to ask these babies.
While Anna is getting that, we might just duck back to me for a second. And here we have our homemade curly fries and beer battered fish with our tartare sauce. So my fries look pretty great. They've come out in nice little crisp balls. Some are kind of cooked more than others, which I really like. Some little crunchy ones, some softer ones, depending on how the family likes it. I feel like 10 minutes kind of would have been perfect. If you've got quite a lot in there, do the 15. But there is that fish. Look, it is perfectly cooked in the middle. It is crunchy on the outside. It's a much healthier option than your store-bought, like your fish and chips from the shop, because I've only used a little bit of oil instead of deep frying. But if you do want to deep fry, you absolutely can. And then, of course, air frying is a healthier option as well. That tartare sauce is absolutely delicious. Bit of lemon to go over your fish there. And there we have the perfect Good Friday meal, or the perfect fake away meal for any time of the year. Get yourself some fish, your beer batter. You can make your chips, your curly fries, your tartare, and away you go. Pop in the chat and let us know, is that something that you're going to be adding to your list? And what did you think? We'll come back over to, where's Anna? Is she ready for us? I've lost her now.
I'm good to go as well.
Oh, Em. All right, let's head back to Em for a minute.
Cool. So hot cross buns are done. I am stoked with them. Pretty cool. So the top is just a sugar glaze. So it does state in your Thermomix to do 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar. It heats up for about 2 minutes and you just brush it over the top. I'm quite happy with these and I'm going to load some with jam. So this is the jam I brought just from Woolies. It's just called Baker's Jam. These are great hot jam donuts as well as hot cross buns. The kids' trusty panadol stick, give that a good wash. I've now turned this into my jam loading stick. And like I said earlier, you can freeze the middle of insides, and when you're doing your dough, pop it in the middle. And when I was pulling it in and rolling, that's when you'd put your center in. If it's something like jam like this, I'll just load them straight up now. So, yeah, literally getting your syringe full. I generally go inside. Sorry.
I was going to say, these just feel like an Easter hot cross bun, an Easter jam donut, and I'm all about it, Em. All about it.
So good. So, and I just load them up on the side. So, do a few of them. But yeah, like you have a look at that. So good. And I'll break one open so you can see how fluffy they are on the inside. Oh my gosh, they're so warm and delicious. Like, they're honestly incredible. I made them last week and I couldn't stop eating them. But the dough on these are so good. So, so good. So, yeah.
Insane, Em.
I will just go and fill them all with jam. They are nice without it. They are nice the next day as well. So I took these to work and we had them the next day. Zapped them in the microwave or in the oven just for a couple of minutes. If you are wanting to freeze these, freeze them on the day, jam load on the day that you do them. I mean, you could probably jam load it and freeze it. But yeah, these are great with butter, awesome with the fruit in there as well. But give them a go, guys, and definitely let me know if you did make them.
Amazing. Thank you thank you so much, Em. Make sure you're following Em at Mix It with Mrs Ruttsy on Instagram. Are you on Facebook as well?
No, it's too much hard work.
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah. Thank you so much, Em. We'll cut back to Anna and see her cupcakes, and then we will wrap up. We did have another dish that we were going to do, but we have taken a little bit longer than anticipated, so we won't keep you on all night. Anna was going to do our last dish, so if you follow her at Pepper's Kitchen, I'm sure she will do her last dish for you in a reel or something fun, maybe over the coming days, if we ask nicely.
Maybe I can jump on a live or something.
That'd be amazing.
And do it because it's a really, really quick one. It's literally like just got all in and it's like done. It's a really good one. Now, I'm not going to cut and ice like all of these because it does say that they're best like eaten on the day that you ice them. So you can make them ahead, but to keep the 2 items separate. So because nobody's going to be eating these tonight, I will just do a few just to show you. So it did ask for a star nozzle. I do have some of them, but if you didn't, I just cut the top off and don't stress. And I'm just using the mix shop bags. But when I'm making hot cross buns, I always use a Ziploc bag, even though I have like hundreds of these. I always end up using a Ziploc bag for whatever reason. So we are just going to ask these little babies really simply. And the key is like to keep twisting from the top to be pushing that icing mixture in as well. I reckon I might leave it. Then I'm going to get my cupcakes, which, like for me, there's still some left because Robert was sitting here before and eating them all. Yeah, I was trying to look for the little Malteser bunnies. Have you guys seen them? They're like in the little red packet. They would be really, really cute on top of here with some like green sprinkles. And like if you did it that way and make it look like a bit of grass with like a bunny coming out of the grass, or you could even add some like green food dye to the cream cheese mixture. Like it's not going to change the taste at all. But there we have it. There's our little cupcakes that we have. So as I said, these ones are gluten-free, which were a really easy sub. So if you have any kids or know anyone that is a celiac or is limiting their gluten, I just buy the pre-made gluten-free flour from like Woolies and Coles. I am going to look into making our own just because I do a lot of baking and it is a fair bit more expensive. But the quality of the flours and then comparing it to the baking, it's actually been a really, really easy transition. So even when I'm making like the cookies and stuff, which I've shared on my socials, yeah, they're really, really easy and they're still really delicious. But yeah, there we have it. They are our mini egg cupcakes. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
I'm just talking away and I'm on mute, so sorry about that. Thank you so much, Anna. They look amazing. What a fun little activity to make. I loved the idea of the Malteser bunnies with a bit of like green sprinkles or something. That'd be so cute. We're definitely going to be making those this Easter with my kiddies. Big shout out to Anna. As she said, she's day 2 of being a Thermomix consultant, but has done this before and is a pro. But thank you for putting yourself out there so early on. We really appreciate it and loved watching you. And sorry we didn't get to make it to your last dish tonight. But yeah, if you want to make that live or something, everyone follow Anna Pepper's Kitchen and you can see that in action. We did run a few minutes over. It always seems to happen. I'm really sorry. We just have so much that we want to tell you and share with you all. But again, there is my beautiful beer battered fish. I was just picking at it. It is absolutely delicious. And that tartare is amazing. So make sure you add those to your list. I have popped all the recipe links into the chat for you. And we did mention TM7 is on its way. Pre-sales start next week. If you'd like any more info, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you about that. You can also earn one absolutely free if you'd like to join our super fun team. We do have a really great time and would love to welcome you in and help you to do that. We also have the run out on the TM6. If you are interested, if you don't yet have a TM6 or if you know someone that might like to get one. You're always welcome to host a demo at any time. We will be back next month with another themed cooking class. So if there's a certain theme that you'd like to see, please yell out and let us know, whether you want, quick midweek meals, you want winter as we move into the seasonal change, like winter meals, whatever it is that you want to see, please let us know so we can really tailor these classes to suit you because we love seeing you and helping you to learn even more about your Thermomix. So big thank you to Anna, big thank you to Em for cooking along tonight. Don't forget to follow the girls Pepper's Kitchen and Mix It with Mrs Ruttsy. And you can follow me at Mixing It Real if you're not already. If you have any questions about anything at all, please yell out. We will post some photos of our finished results on our socials as well. And we really hope to see you next time. Any comments, questions, pop them in the chat or shoot us a message and we'd love to answer them for you. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great Easter.
I just want to interrupt and say I just had a bite of these cupcakes and they are delicious. Like, oh my goodness.
I couldn't help myself.
They're actually really, really good.
They look
like
nice.
These are the gluten-free ones, and they are like that is a good cupcake. I don't even reckon the kids will know that there's carrot in there either. They are that good.
It's a win. I'm definitely going to be making those. I am excited about trying those. So love it. You've got to try. I was sitting here picking up my fish and then realized I need to take photos of it. So I had to stop, but it was so yum. So yum. So I don't blame you. Make sure you save one for a photo for us.
I've got a few.
Good.
If I eat them all before I take a photo, I have a problem.
Yeah, you never know. What happens behind the camera stays behind the camera. Thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful Easter, and we will see you all soon. If you haven't left and you want to pop in the chat and let us know what your favorite dish was, or what you loved, please do so. I should have asked you that earlier. And Em and Anna, stick around and we'll take a picture for everybody. And thank you again, guys. See you soon.